What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod and I'm coming at you now with a video to talk about the newly revealed TCG ban list. Now unfortunately I was actually at work when the list dropped. I wanted to do kind of a live reaction as I went through the list and kind of found out all the different cards that were now going to be banned and limited and semi-limited or unlimited anymore. But unfortunately, throughout the day, I'm getting texts from all my friends saying, did you know such and such is now banned? Or this card is now unlimited? Or whatnot. And I just kept getting spoiled over and over again. And so I figured I can't really do a reaction video because I knew what half the list was before my shift was even over. So I thought, I'm going to go ahead and look at the list while I'm at work. And so for this video, what I'm going to do is kind of go over all the cards that are now going to be on the forbidden list, that are going to be limited, semi-limited, unrestricted, anything like that, and give my reaction and thoughts on the changes to the actual list. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So first up, the cards that are now forbidden, and we're starting off, of course, with Qliphort Tower. Towers is now banned. Now Towers Turbo is a deck that is kind of hard for a lot of different archetypes to deal with. Typically, you really only main maybe 1 or 2 outs, 2 towers within any kind of deck. Meaning if your opponent is able to get multiple copies of it out in a duel, there's just really not a lot of answers to it. Not to mention that the card is so annoying. Now I actually have a friend that uses Qli's, and every time he drops Tower, I'm just like, oh my god, this friggin' card again. But, not any longer. Also banned now is Sharid, the Strategist of the Nekloths. Now this, I think, is a pretty nice little hit. Definitely puts Nekloths a little bit in check, plus with the other hits that they made to the archetype, which we'll get to pretty soon, it definitely drops it down in the tier list. With that said, we also saw El Shaddoll Construct getting banned. Shaddolls is really an archetype that I don't really care too much to play against, so seeing them no longer have Construct really brings a little smile to my face. Moving forward, we have Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. Now this is actually a hit that I'm not too happy to see. I actually love playing rank 4 kind of spammy decks, and Evil Swarm Exciton Knight is definitely a great card to have in your toolbox of Xyz monsters. Plus I feel like it really punishes players who overextend before they should. In any event, it's one that I'm kind of sad to see go. Moving on to the semi-limiteds, we have Qliphort Scout. Now this is really the final nail in the coffin for Qli's. I mean, unless you're going to play 2 or 3 copies of Climate Change, Scout is definitely an integral part of that deck. I mean, maybe this will just lead to some innovation of the archetype, but more often than not, this is probably the last we're going to hear of them. Next up, we have Graph and Mathematician being limited to 1. Burning Abyss to this day is still a very strong archetype, and these are some pretty good hits for that deck. Not to mention, Mathematician actually helps out quite a bit of different decks, so I can definitely see why he's getting limited as well. Moving forward, to further show that Konami is done with the class, they have limited both Brionac and Unicorn to 1. Not much more can be said other than I'm happy to see the archetype kind of get hit so much that it's going to force players to either be really innovative with it or move on to a different type of deck. I think I can speak for most of the player base when they say they're tired of seeing these blue cards whenever they go to any sort of tournament. Next up, we have the Ritual Beast Kanahawk. Kind of sad for Spiritual Beast players, but the Kanahawk combo is definitely very powerful. The final 2 cards to get limited are El Shaddoll Fusion and Reinforcement of the Army. Neither one of these are too surprising to me, although seeing El Shaddoll get hit at the same time as Construct is kind of a little funny. Reinforcement of the Army, on the other hand, is really the only hit to S-Knight. Now normally when a deck actually wins World, Konami really puts the ban hammer to them, and I was fully expecting to see Satellar Knights really take a big hit on this list. Now to my surprise, this did not happen. This is the first time that I ever remember a deck that won Worlds not really getting hit whatsoever on the next Forbidden/Limited list. The only card to be limited to 2 was Seer of the Burning Abyss. So with that and Graph, hopefully that makes Burning Abyss not too overpowered for this upcoming format. For no longer restricted, we have Chaos Sorcerer, Legendary 6 Samurai Shien, Spellbook of Fate, and Yugioh. Personally, when I first looked at this, I already thought Chaos Sorcerer was unlimited, so this really doesn't make too big of a difference to me. Legendary 6 Samurai Shien, I think could have gone to 3 a long time ago. I don't really understand why it took him so long to unlimit this card. As for the other 2, Spellbook of Fate is a card I'm very happy to see get off of the limited list. I talked about this not too long ago in one of my top 5 videos, about the need for Konami to actually either bring this card to 2 or 3. I think this will give Spellbooks at least a fighting chance to try and keep up with the current meta. As for gear, the Gear archetype really suffered once this card was limited. Plus, a little bit power creeped out as well. But hopefully with this card's inclusion back to a full 3 copies per deck, we might be able to see Gears do something once again. So overall, I'm actually pretty excited about the upcoming format revolving around this ban list. Usually whatever list we get around this time of the year is somewhat of a major one, and Konami definitely did not disappoint. They're really paving the way for the next meta. Alright YouTube, and there you have it. Those were my thoughts on the changes made to the Forbidden/Limited list. Remember to let me know what you guys think of it down in the comment section below. And I guess that's going to do it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.